Hello, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and this is the best of the live shows. Hello, Ronan. This is Marky Dragon. You're on the air.
Hi, Marcus. Can you hear me, first of all?
I can hear you. Do you have video or are you just audio?
I do have video, but I'd prefer to just keep it audio.
Okay, that's fine. So, Ronan, where are you from?
I'm from Scotland.
Okay.
Actually.
Cool. Cool. So, what's on your mind, Ronan?
Well, for the main part of my life, I have always been playing video games, and I'm a great video game fan. Not as much like PC gaming as console gaming, but I'm still a great fan. And I just wanted to ask, like, how did you get started with video games, and start like your business, and how did you go on from everything?
Well, my start in video games was really just like any other kid. Getting a video game and wanting to play more. When I was a kid, the first video game that came out, we have these games that were electronic games. They weren't video games; they were electronic games. It'd be like a little football game, and you'd hold on to it, and you had little buttons, and the lights would move on it and light up these little characters as they kind of go across the playfield and stuff like that. Very very simple by today's standards. Or many of you may have seen a Simon, the 4 buttons, and you have to repeat it. So Simon was out when I was a kid, and that was our electronic games. The first video game that I had was Pong, and it was I had a version that came from Radio Shack, and they had a big controller that was it was huge, and it was all contained within the controller, and you had to put batteries in it to play it, and then you had to have a cord that went to the second player and a cord that went to the TV. And that was my first taste of video games, and I played that a bunch, but it really didn't capture my attention. When we got our first, I got like a ColecoVision Atom, and that's when gaming really started being something for me. But as far as getting into games and how I ended up where I'm at right now, back in Ultima Online, when I was first playing that, the first couple of months, I had people that started playing the game, and they just didn't like the game for whatever reason, and they would offer to sell their account, and real cheap, $20, $50, whatever they paid for the game, something like that. And I had bought a couple of accounts from a few people, really hadn't thought too much about it, and then I saw somebody selling a sword for $20, and he was asking $20, and I saw that he sold it. And I said, well, hell, I can do that. I've got a dozen of that particular sword. So I put some stuff up for sale, and I sold it, and a year later, I was doing $30,000 in sales per month of virtual goods from Ultima Online, and just kind of went from there. The markets have changed over time. You can't just get in and sell items like that anymore. It just doesn't happen that way. There's a lot of gold farmers out there, and they're doing things against the terms of service. Stuff back then, there was no terms of service. It had anything to do with whether or not stuff could be sold, and so there was nothing against that. We weren't breaking any rules. We weren't getting our accounts banned. It was the wild, wild west, because we got ripped off a lot. But that's kind of where it all started, and then I have, tried to look for the next new niche in gaming and stay in that. And there's a couple of areas of that I'm focusing on right now, and one, of course, is video. So I've had this channel since 2007. Been posting videos since 2007. I didn't get into doing any gaming stuff though until I think about 2009. And the 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 other thing that I have done for quite a long time is selling game codes, and I believe that there's a market for that when there's good customer service. Alexandra on our Facebook fan page, if you look up Marky Dragon Game Codes on Facebook, you'll see our fan page, and Alexandra is my business partner, and she posted that she tried to buy Amnesia, the game Amnesia, from GameStop because they had it on special for $5, and that that her payment didn't go through, and so she tried to contact customer support and couldn't get through to them. So she attempted 2 more times to pay, and they kept refunding her. And even though she's a legit person and everything, and she does a lot of anti-fraud with our company and stuff, and so she knows what kind of stuff is being looked for with anti-fraud and everything. She can't figure out why her payment's being denied. So she posted on there about this and how customer service never even took her call and wouldn't speak to her about it.
Yeah.
They just kept refunding her money. And so there's a place for that. One of the things I focus on is really good service. And anybody who buys from us sees that, that we care for our customers, and we try to give as best service as possible. So, what is your interest in that? What lies behind your question?
Well, since I'm a big fan of video games, like I've always wanted to do something with video games. Although I've never really been sure, what I would like to do. And so when I first discovered your channel, I think it was early last year. I was quite interested in the whole kind of selling game codes and how you could make a business out of that, and that just kind of really intrigued me. And in the future, it sounds like something that I would be up for doing and hope and trying to hopefully make a career out of it. And if that did fail, then maybe try going onto some different aspect of gaming and making money out of games.
Well, so here's how you can test doing game code sales. It's all about getting people to your website, and so if you have some way to get traffic in, you can start out with like an affiliate program, and whether it be ours or someone else's. And that's where you get people to your site and you refer them for the sales, and then you get a commission off of each sale. You don't have to buy a bunch of product beforehand, and so you can test whether or not you can get people coming in that are willing to buy. If you can't get anybody coming in willing to buy, then you need to find something else to do. And the draw there has to be more than just having a website. The website has to have something at it that has some sort of quality content that people want to come back for.
Yeah.
And every webmaster struggles with that, on finding what is it that is renewable content that people can come back for over and over and over again. Part of what I do is all these videos is that the content is new, and that's why I publish 2 videos a day, because that's how I keep people coming back. And I almost always publish 2 videos a day, if not sometimes 3. And so whatever you choose to do. A couple of things. Can I ask how old you are?
At the moment, I'm 15. I'm going to be 16 in a couple of months, though. But,
okay. So you can start a business at any age. Right now, though, your primary focus needs to be school, because you need that education to be successful later. And you'll find that, I can tell you that a lot of my mistakes that I've made in business was because I didn't have as much education as what I probably should have. And if I had just done a few more years of school, I would have a lot more to back up my decisions, and I wouldn't have had to learn a lot of stuff the hard way. some of the stuff that I've learned the hard way has cost me, thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And so, I would be, if I had had that education behind me and made wiser decisions on my journey to where I am today, I'd be a very rich man. But I've had to pay for that education the hard way. So I encourage you to get education and to, and if your passion is video games and you want to do business in it, then focus on the video game industry and business in your studies.
Yeah.
And I don't know what opportunities, like where you live and stuff like that, but if you can get a job working at your local computer store selling games or something like that, and if you want to sell games in the future, that will be invaluable experience for you, because you'll be able to interact with each one of the customers that come in. You'll be able to ask them what they need and want and figure out what it is, why they're coming into that shop, what that shop is providing that they need and want. And when you see success, this is probably my biggest piece of advice. When you see success, learn how to replicate it. And because it's not theft, stealing someone else's idea and making it better. I wouldn't call it stealing at all. It's just like, let's say that you see somebody who has a fantastic car, and you are a car manufacturer, and you say, wow, that new style of rims on there really makes the car perform better or look better. And so you go back to your shop and you develop these new type of rims that may look similar, but they have that functionality in them and the desirability. And so you're not stealing that from them, you're making it your own, and you get the idea from other places. You don't have to be the sole creator of all of the ideas. You can take all of these things around you and put them together into something that works for you. So, and dabble in business right now, and then when you're done with your studies, give it 100%. Hopefully, you can be at a point to where you can live very, very cheaply, and so that you don't have to earn very much, and you can give it 100% in trying to be an entrepreneur in the video game industry.
Okay.
So, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Maybe more so.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Take care, Ronan, and good luck to you.
All right. All right. Thank you, Marky.
Yeah.
Bye.
Now that you've made it this far, can I interest you in another video? In the upper left, I talk about the future of translation. You remember Star Trek? You remember, of course you remember Star Trek. You know what it is. The communicator badges? I think that those are going to become reality in the next 10 years. We won't have necessarily starships that we're communicating with, but it will do the translations like was shown in the TV series. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's my prediction. I'm talking about it there. So in the upper right, what the fast? This is an older video. Look at that. I have hair. And in that video, I actually show how what the fast works and why it is so good for anyone who is playing like a Twitch-based game that has any lag. Or even not a Twitch-based game, but you have extreme lag. This can help because it actually makes a more direct route for you to get to the game server, thus reducing lag. And I explain how it works there, and in that video also has a link on how to get it, and they now offer 30 days free trial. So you might want to check that out if you have any lag issues. In the lower right, I have a little War Z action there. It's in the dark. That one is kind of hard to see, but you know what? That is when it's most tense. So if you like War Z stuff, check it out. That'll link to my playlist. And then in the lower left, I get all kinds of people who ask me all kinds of entrepreneurial questions. And that one talks about a teenager who's looking to start out. Does he do school? Does he complete school? Does he start working on a job right away? Does he start with making a new company right away? and I try and go through telling about how I got started and what things I would change, and maybe how he can do it better. So, thanks for watching. Enjoy this music on the way out. I'm Marky Dragon. Take care.